What up, YouTube? So, let's talk about double knife hand. Prepper comms. I have gotten this question a couple hundred times in the last few months, not exaggerating. T, what kind of commo, man? What should I have? What do you use? Where do I get the things? How do I do that? All right, so let's talk about it. Commo is a great place to have PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. In fact, it's my understanding that commo is where that acronym comes from. PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. You should have a commo plan for all things. Let me reiterate. For all things. Jazz hands? For all things. How do we get a hold of the people we need to get a hold of? Okay, what is the hierarchy here? And that's PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. So to that end, I'm going to show you some of the stuff that I have. You'll find it's pretty common stuff. There's no real bells and whistles here. And I will caveat this entire discussion with the fact that I am not the consummate commo expert. I recently posted in the YouTube community section, if you could ask an expert anything, what would it be? Not that I'm the expert, but I intend to find these people out for y'all and have this conversation with them to bring you what I think might be the best information on the subject. Because there's lots of doomer porn, you know, doom and gloom, fear-mongering, clickbaiting. That's not us. That's not what we do here, right? This is sane preparedness. So, to that end, I actually have a couple of commo conversations. Say that 3 times fast. A couple of commo conversations coming up. A couple of commo conversations coming up with 2 of my commo guys. And so when that happens, I'll post them here. So stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, let me show you what I've got. Now, we're going to go down this train of thought. PACE, primary, alternate, contingency, emergency. To that end, let me show you, I literally have a tool bag full of commo. This is not including the chargers, and spare batteries, which is in another box right over here. I need a bigger bag. But this is the commo bag. Oh. So, PACE, I know the best words. They're tremendous. I can spell. PACE, primary. See these things here? These here newfangled telephone devices? Cell phones. Well, in an EMP environment, when the grid is down, there's not going to be any cell service. North Korea. Nah. What if SHTF is flooding, a hurricane, wildfire, or your own personal SHTF? Somebody you love has gotten injured, is inbound to a hospital or a medical treatment facility or whatever, right? What is your primary? These things, okay? This is my primary. I'm talking to you using my primary means of communication, just turned sideways. Which, brief note for all the aspiring YouTube content creators out there, turn it sideways. It's not this, it's this, okay? TVs are this shape, not this shape. So turn it this way. Okay. So primary for me is a cell phone. Now, I realize that's not like super ultra high speed tactical. But it freaking works, man. 98% of the time it works. And so 98% of the time, my primary is going to be this. I'm not busting out a radio and sending Morse code over to grandma's house. The biscuits are ready. Come to Bravo Point. Like, yo, grandma, biscuits are ready. Come on, let's go. All right. So, cell phones are my primary. Understanding that, yes, there are holes in that, which is why we have alternate contingency emergency. So we will go to alternate. Understanding that primary, you monitor all the time, which is why cell phones, because they're in our pocket or in our hand or on our nightstand 24/7. I don't care who you are. 99% of the people watching this spend way too much time with their cell phones, including this guy. So primary means of communication, you monitor all the time. So whether or not you flex a cell phone into that role, whatever it is, you need to monitor it all the time, okay? Next is alternate. This is something that you monitor occasionally or when you know we're in play. Stuff has happened, we're in play now. So for that, I get this question constantly. What radios do you use, man? This is the Kenwood TK-3300 Pro Talk. I've had these things a while, a decade or so. They're not cheap. $250-ish a radio. By the time you factor in lapel mics, which I have, and gang chargers and spare batteries, which I have, all the things, right? The holder for it, the pouch for it, upgraded antennas, they're about $400 a piece. That can be very cost prohibitive. However, these radios rock. So with this radio, with this whip antenna on it, 16-inch-ish whip, then they're all pre-programmed. I got these from buytwowayradios.com. I don't work for them. They don't work for me. They have no idea who I am. I have no affiliate links. I'm not trying to sell anything. I'm just telling you, I bought these from buytwowayradios.com. Why is that important? Because they programmed all of the radios together when I bought them. So I did a mass purchase of radios, and when I got them, they had all been programmed with the same encryption codes. So they all have the same privacy codes on them, so they can talk to each other, but not necessarily talk to other radios of the same make and model because of the frequencies that they're on. Now, this is a great time to insert the fact that there are no secure comms. There's just not. Even your cell phones. If the big ears are listening, man, yeah, people will hear you. Or just real low tech, eavesdropping. Well, there's T. Yeah, but if I'm eavesdropping your end of the conversation and somebody's eavesdropping the other end of the conversation and they work together and they compare notes, we have a pretty good idea of what y'all were talking about. Just on the cell phone or the two-way radio or whatever. So there are no secure comms. But as far as the ability to breach your CommSec, your communication security, starting with a cell phone, it's not particularly easy. They're freaking tremendous, these words today. It is not particularly easy for me to grab the conversation off of this while you're having it, okay? Next, it's not easy, but not terribly difficult either for somebody with a scanner to lock onto this. So you keep your transmissions short and to the point. This is Bear. Bear. Yeah, Bear, this is Black Mamba. Go Black Mamba actual. Yeah, we're in position. We are ready to assault the pancakes. Roger on pancake assault. You're cleared hot. On 3, 2, 1, send it. This is Black Mamba actual. Pancakes have been assaulted. Or whatever, okay? So, and there's lots of guys and girls who are running around with like tactical arousal, we'll say. Because I know we have certain of our viewers are sensitive to the bad words. Tactical arousal, we'll call it, who want to be Black Mamba actual. And that's cool. That's cool, man. Two-way radio. This is my alternate. Okay. So this is the Kenwood TK Tango Kilo 3400. I believe right now they're producing the 3402. Does it matter? Well, the 3400 series all talks to each other. I've also had really good experience with the Motorola HT750s, and I think they're under the HT1000s now. Those with repeaters will talk dozens of miles to each other. So, because this is my alternate, I have many of these. Like, here's some more. Here's another one. And then I have on here, on this belt. Oh, I can do it. Ugh. On this belt here, there's one. Go right there. Back here, on the back of this plate carrier, I have one here with the antenna threaded up and through. Will they stand up to combat? I just threw it on the floor, dude. Like, they're fine. And this is an important note to make. I bought these when I was in the wind power construction industry. They have been to some hellacious environments, and they're still ticking. Still ticking, no problems. So, I have multiple of those as my alternate means of communication. I pretty much carry a radio either on line 1 or line 2. And so I'll be doing a video on this in the near future as well, an updated gun belt video. You have to get super ultra tactical when you talk about the gun belt, the war belt, or whatever, whatever. But yeah, they can withstand that constantly. Do I recommend that you should throw your radios on the floor? No, I don't recommend that, but I'm kind of hard on stuff, and I've had this stuff for over a decade. I haven't broken it yet, so that should speak volumes to the construction level of these radios. And are they worth $250 for the bare radio and then another $150 for all the upgrades and everything? Yeah, man, they're freaking great. Over the lifetime value of these radios, if you amortize it, right, they've cost me maybe $40 a year each at this point. So, but yeah, you got to have the money to pull the trigger on it in the first place. So moving on, primary, iPhone, alternate, Kenwood, contingency. This may look familiar to you. Are we all ready to go to prison? Because these have been outlawed by the FCC. Shut up. Turn left. Anyway, the little Baofeng UV-5Rs, okay? You can still get these on the Amazons, and they're like, I think recently I bought a 5-pack of them for less than $200 for 5 of them, with the upgraded antennas, spare batteries, chargers, push-to-talk mics, ear things, all of it, I think was under $200 for 5 of them. You can get just the radio itself for about $30-ish. Here's some Baofengs, bro. Do you even Baofeng? Yeah. So, and I got a whole sack full of radios. So the cool thing about these is that I'm pretty sure everybody who's into preparedness and communications has at least one of these. Are they the best? No. That's why they're contingency, not primary. Are they the best? No. Do they work? Yeah, they work. I know several different groups of operators that use these as the backbone of their communication system. They will work with repeaters. They can be programmed. I have like all the programming cables for these things. That was the other thing with this 5-pack. I'm not going to put a link in the description. I don't really do that. I don't have affiliate links. I don't make any money by telling you this, okay? But you can get these from the Amazon stores, okay? And so here, as a contingency plan, I could stick one of these in my ruck, my line 3. Now I've got my primary, that's my cell phone. I've got my alternate, which is a Kenwood, Then I've got my contingency on me. The cool thing about this thing too, and it's a double-edged sword, right? It's both. It's not either or, it's both. You can talk to the outside world with this, but the outside world can talk to and hear you as well. And yes, there's encryption and there's privacy codes and the whole nine. You can get your weather updates on this. You can do all kinds of mods to use it as a police scanner. You can tap into all kinds of frequencies that you maybe should or shouldn't be doing with these little Baofengs. Again, this is the UV-5R. And they're not incredibly robust, but they don't suck either. So you kind of got to baby them. I'm not going to throw this at the floor. But if I did, I'm out $30. I'm out, you know, I could buy 6 of those radios for one of these. That's significant. So you might, and where your primary alternate contingency emergency lands for you is going to be dependent upon you, your people, your team. You have one, right? You have a team of people, or you're trying to develop one. I don't know how. That's another video for another time outside the scope of this video. There's lots of content here on this channel about team building. There's also a whole lot of it at the Viking Preparedness Patreon page, and also in the community section of our page, Bear Independent on Patreon, where people are literally setting up national and international networks of like-minded individuals. So it's worth $1 a month just for that. But yeah, depending upon what your team uses, where you're at, and I mean, technically, in a peacetime situation, you need a license to operate this thing. Now, if there's an emergency where there's a need, send it. But it's awful hard to get good at using this thing without having a ham radio license, right? It's like saying that I have one of these, I've never used it before, but if I need to, I'll just point and click. Statistically, that's an anomaly. All right, so primary cell phone, alternate Kenwood, contingency, the Baofeng, and then we'll go with emergency. And I'll caveat the emergency by saying emergency could be something very low-tech as well. It could be signal mirror. It could be a string tied to a can that somebody over here at the corner just pulls the string and the can rattles. It could be runners, people that run from one position to the next. Or, you know, dude on the horse, Paul Revere. The British are coming, the British are coming. Shoot them in the face with your muskets, because they're a bunch of imperialist bastards. Yay, America, right? There's lots of low-tech options for emergency here as well. But staying with the concept of technology, this is a Midland handheld CB transceiver. It has a, truthfully, fairly cheesy antenna on it. It's a coax antenna. Has that connector on the end of it. Can you all see that? Yeah. And see, it plugs on to there, and then you just twist it on. Good to go. Now, I have this tuned to the emergency channel if I needed to monitor the emergency channel. Cool thing about these is they take AA's. Uncool thing about these is it takes 9 AA's per radio. Now, one radio pretty much doesn't do much of anything. So, buy radios in pairs, okay? This is completely unsecure. Anybody who has a CB radio can hear you. Anybody who has a scanner can hear you. So, you do not want to be transmitting anything of any tactical or strategic importance over these things. And you can make the argument across any of these platforms, you should not be doing that. But as an emergency, you might consider flexing a CB into that role. This also gives you capability to talk to with everybody else who has CBs. Now, my Bear Nation truckers out there, you guys know all about CBs, right? And you have way better CBs than these in your trucks, I'm sure. You got the dangly microphone thing on the little tiny bungee cord, and you can grab it and breaker 19, this is Pigpen, come in rubber ducky, right? Cool. This has the ability to talk to those and vice versa. So we can get, like, we're up here, 10,000 foot elevation. We can go with a microscope down super specific frequencies and protocols and chemtrail cough. Thank you, internet. And all the things, right? But I just wanted to show you briefly, since I get this question repeatedly over and over and over again, what equipment should I use? Well, I can't speak for you and your situation and your team and your regulations and your state and your skills, talents, abilities, giftings, urgings, convictions. But I can show you what I do, okay? And now there's going to be guys like, bro, OPSEC, you just showed the entire internet what equipment they need to buy to hack your security. Do you not think I've thought of that? Just saying. Just simmer down, skinny jeans. Take it down a notch, okay? So, excuse me, chemtrail cough. Primary. iPhone. What is that reflection? That looks ridiculous over there. What is that? That's a bucket. Cool. iPhone. Primary. Cell phone. Alternate. Kenwood two-way radios. These are, I believe they're UHF, and these are 4-channel. You can get these in UHF, VHF, 4-channel, or 16-channel. These are, I believe, whatever. They're one of the HFs. Again, I said I'm not the commo guy. 4-channel, okay? This is the alternate, and truthfully, when I'm operating, this is what I use. And I use, with that, I use these push-to-talk mics all the time, because as I'm operating, I keep this right here, and so I can do the thing while doing the thing. Somebody will go, Bear, come in, this is Black Mamba Actual, and I can go for Bear, and they'll say, the pancakes are secure, sir. And I'll say, roger that, pancakes are secure, good copy. Okay, so I like having one of these here, and it's got a little clippy-do on the back, so you can clippy-do it into your stuff if you're overly concerned about the security of your pancakes. So alternate are these Kenwoods. Contingency are the little Baofeng or whatever, these things, UV-5R. Uniform Victor 5 Romeo, UV-5R. You can still buy them. The FCC is not going to show up at your door with a SWAT team. If you have questions on that, go to the Arkansas Preparedness Network. Arkansas Preparedness Network YouTube channel. There's a great video there by my brother Gordon about the UV-5R and the regulations and the FCCs and all the yay government bullcrap, okay? So contingency is the Baofeng UV-5R, and then emergency is a handheld CB transceiver. So, and again, the ability to have semi-secure conversations diminishes as we work our way from primary to emergency. Always understanding that there is no such thing as secure comms. So I hope that helps. That is the extent, more or less, of my knowledge about comms. Commo, okay? Push the button, talk. Now, I should be, and I am going to be, cross-trained in this stuff, which is why we're going to have a conversation with my commo guys. Say, hey, man, what's the deal here? Teach me, and let's teach the internet while we're doing this, because cross-training people is really important. So, you know, in the 70 millimeter, 2 meter with the thing, it talks to the thing, and then it comes from here and it goes here, and then this happens, and whoosh, whoosh. Okay. Right. So, we'll be having that conversation. So, I want to thank you guys for being here. I get questions like this all the time at the email. The email's down in the description. We answer questions, in-depth questions answered on Patreon all the time. That's kind of our MO at Patreon. There's also exclusive homesteading content there now, which is cool. And if the Father sees fit to bless us with 500 patrons, we're going to 5 times a week exclusive content there. So we're on the march to 500. Barrier to entry is $1. a doll hair, one single doll hair. So, shameless plug. Shout out to Jennifer, Veterans for Truth. You shouted me out in a recent video, so shalom, sister. Good to see you. Like what you're doing over there. We have a live stream that will have aired already once this posts with John X Army. So what's up, brother? Thank you for that. And ethical preparedness is in the house. Thank you. Viking preparedness is in the house. And if you need, if you're like, Condor's airsoft gear. Number one, simmer down. Like, have you checked your testosterone lately? Calm down. What's your BP at? Stop. And by the way, Mountain Dew doesn't hydrate. Okay? Okay. But if you hate Condor gear, maybe you should go to sojourner.com and see my brother Cody and order some real gear made by a real American by hand. The dude is freaking phenomenal. And in the coming weeks, you guys are going to see some really cool stuff that he and I are collaborating on. I make no money from telling you that. He's a great guy and I love him. And he's freaking passionate about what he does. Like, he loves to make stuff with his hands. And he makes awesome high-speed tactical gear with his hands, custom made for you. If you want a thing and you can't find the thing, or you're tired of your chest rig with this thing sucks and I wish it didn't, call Cody. He'll hook you up, man. Sojourner, S-E-W, Journer, J-O-U-R-N, Sojourn Gear. I know all the words. They're tremendous. Let's do this one more time. Sojourn Gear. And that's a .com, or you can do the Google thing. So, yeah, I know I'm forgetting stuff. And you can get your Bear coffee cups at, you can go to bearindependent.com, check that out. There will be podcast episodes being posted there. Teespring with the t-shirts, all the things, man. Like, I'm amazed by what's happening with this channel. Like, I'm pretty sure you're not all right here. Like, if you think that this thing is like worth paying attention to, you need to go see somebody and get some help, because why should this channel be this big? I don't get it. I don't get it. Shalom.